Okay, I was just watching other videos on YouTube and found out that the many of the candidates in the Democrat Party were speaking Spanish in their debate, and then the not moderators was asking questions in Spanish. This reminds me about a joke that Messiah, Carlos Messiah, made about a college student majoring in German. And he made the joke saying, "Why would you need German? All your neighbors are Mexicans or Spanish, Puerto Ricans. They speak Spanish. And the Spanish population in the United States as a whole is growing and growing faster and faster. So why would he need to speak Spanish?" The way he did it was more funny than how I'm repeating it. But even at that time, I thought that was joke was funny, but however, I thought it was a dumbass premise. Germans control the flow of money in Europe. That's why the Greece economy collapsed. German banks refused to service the Greek debt. So Greece had to go into the private citizens' private bank accounts and take their money to service their debt. And then now the Chinese government, who owns all the companies in their country, even if we have a factory there, the Chinese government demand that they have 51% stake in that company. And it'd be good to learn Mandarin too, because they're buying up shitload of property and land around the world. For smaller countries in Asia, when they buy their debt, they come up and demand payment, and if the country fails to, they'll take over companies or land in that particular country, instead of just going straight out and bombing the fuck out of them. They just say, "We'll just take your damn land and money." So, behoove you to learn to speak Mandarin, because you may be working for a Chinese country, especially those in Southern California, where those major ports are. Port of Los Angeles, San Francisco got a huge shipping port, and Chinese have shipping lines in those ports. But in Hawaii, it's Japanese own all the major buildings, condos there. So pretty soon, the Hawaiians going to have to learn how to speak Japanese, because soon they're going to be sitting on Japanese land instead of owned by Americans or Hawaiians. It's just like, so what? You know how to speak Spanish as a president? You're going to be dealing with over 68 countries who probably going to be negotiating for factory and land in their country. And even here in the Commonwealth of Virginia, when you apply for Medicaid and Medicare, the instructions are written in 16 different languages, not just Spanish. There are 15 other languages it is written in. And if you want something other than English, you can write to them. They give you in that language to get instructions on how to deal with the bureaucracy. Not just Spanish. And this is the Commonwealth of Virginia,
7:30 a.m.
thousands of miles away from Mexico and Puerto Rico, and thousands of miles away from Spain, where the language originated. So I don't give a fuck if you can speak Spanish as my president. You're going to be dealing with the Chinese and the Russians and the Germans more often than you're really going to deal with the Mexican president, other than talking about uncontrolled illegal immigration. When it comes to dealing with economies, we're going to be talking to European, Asian, and Asian countries. No offense, but fuck Mexico. What are they going to do financially for us? What major company that's owned by Mexico that is going to employ Americans? A major company that's the major competitor to Caterpillar is Steel. And Steel's owned by Germans. What major equipment maker, construction makers is owned by Mexico? I don't know. If you're reading this and you do know, please tell me in the comments, because I don't know. Spanish is not really that important to this country unless you're dealing with illegal aliens. Then you can tell them, learn how to, in Spanish, say, go back and come in legally, like the rest of the world has done. And I think there's 68 different countries and their languages represented here in the United States. 68. You got Latvians, Russians, Germans, Greeks, Italians, Irish, they have their own language too. Scottish, they too have their own language. Welsh, they have their own language. Egyptian, Libyans, Moroccans, South Africa, Zulus all have people here. And Haitian and Jamaica, they speak French, but it's a different type of French. Patois is right here. Portuguese is here, but mostly from Brazil. And Portuguese, but mostly from Brazil. Congo, Liberia, that's part of American history. If you don't know what it is, look it up. Their language is speaking here. Arabic is speaking here, where they speak in the Saudi and all that. And Farsi, that's what they speak in Iran. They have people from Iran here that speak Farsi. So there are so many people that speak so many different languages here, not just fucking Spanish. And besides, most of those people speaking Spanish are illegal and can't legally vote in this country unless you're in California, where they'll count your vote anyways because you're not voting Republican. But the moment they do start voting Republican, you bet your ass they'll be forced across the border faster than you can drop a dime. Thank you for watching.